What is going on, everybody? We are here today to talk a little Pittsburgh Steelers football, and in particular, we're here to talk about Diontae Johnson. Diontae Johnson's on the last year of his rookie deal. We just saw Minkah Fitzpatrick get the bag. Chris Boswell's contract's coming up, and so is Diontae. So, Chris Boswell's a kicker, so he won't get paid a ton. Will the Steelers pay Diontae Johnson? And that's a tough one, man. If you look back in prior Steelers history, they let Mike Wallace walk. They let Santonio Holmes go. So letting Emmanuel Sanders, another guy. They paid AB, but he was, best in the league. So a little bit of a different story. Will they pay DJ? Man, that I don't know. All right. And, of course, nobody knows. But I'm going to give you my best guess in this video. So when we look at the wide receiver market, it was completely turned upside down on its head because for whatever reason, the Jacksonville Jaguars paid Christian Kirk $18 million a year. Christian Kirk's probably, I don't know, the 60th best receiver in the league. No offense to that guy. I mean, he might be like 40th maybe. But yeah, he's nowhere even sniffing the top 25, 30. Yeah, nowhere close. Diontae Johnson is. Diontae Johnson, I think, is probably a 15th, maybe 20th. You could probably argue maybe top 12, maybe. In certain circles. So when we look at that, the guy that's going to be most comparable to a contract is Terry McLaurin for the Washington Commanders. I almost slipped up. Washington Commanders just got 3 years, $68 million, and a lot of that was guaranteed. That's kind of probably the baseline of what the Steelers would have to pay Diontae. And I've read reports, I'm sure you guys have seen them too, that the Steelers won't even come close to that contract. Now, do I think the Steelers will break and end up paying them that money? No. Do I think Diontae should just take less money to stay here? No. At the end of the day, it is a business. You know what I mean? You got to do what's best for you. So when we look at, if Diontae is deserving of this money, the last 3 years. So let's kind of compare some guys with top 10 contracts, some receivers with big names. So we look at McLaurin, a DJ Moore, Mike Williams, and Diontae Johnson. If we take all four of those over the last 3 years, Diontae has number one in catches. He's number 4 in yards, and he also has the most touchdowns out of those guys. And all those guys make a lot more money than him. Williams just signed for 3 years, $60 million. DJ's 3 years, $62. And I like I alluded to earlier, McLaurin's 3 years, $68 million. So, DJ is going to be making somewhere in that $20 million a year. Might even be a little bit more than that for his ability to get open so quickly. When we look at this, Ben's been washed for about 2 years, right? And they knew the short game was coming, and DJ still consistently got open quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that's quite a skill set that he has right there, is to create that separation early and often. Now, 2 years ago, he did have the drop issue, right? Dropped a lot of easy balls, led the league in drops. We saw him come back last season, and until the last handful of games, he led the league in for targets compared to drops. So his hands were money. In the season, he had a few drops. Some of them he should have had. Some of them would have been tough catches, but a few that are listed as drops. So, to me, that shows a guy who's willing to put in the work. He wants to be elite. And I remember him coming out of the draft when the Steelers got him out of Toledo. The big thing was this guy might be the best route runner out of this draft class, and he's proven to be that. I think he's in that upper echelon, a little bit behind those Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper's, Jerry Jeudy guys as far as route runners. But like I said, he's nipping on their heels, right? He's a great route runner. He has the speed to take the top off. So he really can do it all. And when we come back to it, new quarterback in town, Kenny Pickett's, probably going to be sitting the bench at least the beginning of the year. Mitch Trubisky's in there. I'm sure they'd love to have DJ still there. But there's been rumors right now, and I don't think it's coming from the Steelers organization or even teams around the league, but should the Steelers trade Diontae, if you're not going to pay him the money, he's going to walk. You know that. He's not going to accept 18 mil like the Christian Kirk thing. He's just not, he's way better than Christian Kirk. So do you try to get a little bit of, draft capital or a player? I think the answer is yes. All right. So the Steelers probably the end result, right, is you want to win a Super Bowl. If everything plays out perfect, I don't think the Steelers are a Super Bowl team this year. I do think they could be a playoff team. And I do think they could potentially win a playoff game. But are they going to win a Super Bowl? I don't see it. And if that's the case, then you're continuing to build. It's kind of like the old Talladega Nights. If you're not first, you're last. So I'm all for it. If you're not going to win it this year, I'm not saying blow it up, but I'm saying, maybe if you can get a high second round pick, maybe you find a team that's desperate, from injury, or they're just looking to pair them up with another great receiver. Like I think Tennessee would probably be, would really want a guy like Diontae, because they're really lacking the wide receiver position. So that could be a destination. I've seen the Cowboys. I don't think that makes as much sense. But, we could see DJ go. I think they could get pretty good capital for it. If they get a second round pick, they might also be able to get a player on top of that. I think that makes sense from a business standpoint, with a new GM in town. We'll kind of see how that plays out. But we saw the Steelers really take advantage of the wide receiver market in the draft. They go out, they already have Claypool, but they go out and get Pickens. They go out and get Austin. They still have Freiermuth coming into his second year. They go out and get in free agency guys like Boykins. They have Anthony Miller coming back for a second year. Kind of a second year because he signed late last season. So I do think they have the depth. Those guys aren't as good as DJ, but get a second round pick. I don't know, might make the difference next year. 2, 3, 4 years from now. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. But at the end of the day, it's a bummer, man, because I do like the guy. I just don't see the Steelers ponying up. But let me know what you guys think, man. Drop in the comments. Do you think the Steelers pay DJ? Is he worth the money? I'd love to get into a little debate. Pittsburgh, best football team, best football fans in the nation. So go ahead and hit me up, man. Let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys next time.